Hi, my name is Clay, and this is the Enneagram Prison Project podcast. In this episode, I sit down with Becky, who is a builder for EPP. Builder is a term that we use to describe folks who donate their time and energy to the project in a number of ways, and they play a vital role in building our community. Becky is also married to one of our participants on the inside, which is why we are using first names only for this episode. And you might hear a few edits here and there just to protect ourselves and to make sure that we stay within the boundaries that are both appropriate and acceptable. We're glad you're here. Thanks for listening. This is the Enneagram Prison Project podcast.
So my name is Becky. Beep. You can edit that out. I'm just being a dumbass.
Oh, Becky Beep. I get it.
Being a dumbass.
I was like, is that a nickname? Because
I like Becky Beep.
yeah, Becky Beep.
I'm being a smart ass, Clay. I'm sorry.
What if I beep Becky and then it's actually a beep and then her saying beep? That's funny.
I'm sorry. Take out the beep.
Becky Beep. We'll worry about the editing later. How about that? And then we'll cross those bridges when we get there.
Center. Okay, my name is Becky. I'm type 2. I'm above the line. She, her pronouns. Do you want to give me a question?
Sure. What brings you here today?
Stepping outside of my comfort zone. Yeah. Doing something I never thought I would have.
What is your comfort zone? How would you describe it?
I guess not pushing the limit where I start feeling anxiety. But I moved from Texas to California to be here by my husband's side. So it was a pretty drastic change, and it was filled with a lot of emotion. But I just did it. Just ripped off the Band-Aid and just did it. You know? So sometimes I guess only because I think people are going to hear this, I'm nervous. I think in life, I just push myself as long as it's going to force me to grow. I rip off the Band-Aid. I don't try to allow it to hold me back. I really want to grow as a person. So that's why I'm here. Even though the anxiety is high.
So where's the benefit in that? Because it sounds like you use this phrase, ripped off the Band-Aid, and you're talking about pushing through. Where have you seen that benefit you before?
Healing. It's part of my healing process. Not staying stagnant is important for me. So growing in every aspect of my life, whether it's relationship or career or just as a person, I'm all for it. I try not to allow fear to hold me back. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I know it goes without saying, Laura. You can jump in whenever if you have a question as well.
Do you have a question, Laura? Do you?
Now I feel like I really need to have a question.
I just try to say it early. If you don't, it's fine. If you do, it's fine.
What's your favorite flavor of ice cream, Becky?
Butter pecan.
Ooh, good
No
choice.
hesitation there.
No hesitation. That's my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
I was actually going to bring ice cream today. I was hoping you would say yes, but you said no.
Yeah. I wouldn't have said yes to butter pecan anyways.
No, I was going to bring to make banana splits, just plain banana split.
Now that I would have said, we have a whole bunch of bananas in there.
Do we have ice cream?
We don't.
There you go.
Yeah. No, if you would have brought ice cream, we could have totally had banana splits.
See?
If you had hot fudge too.
Yeah, of course.
I would have said yes to that.
Oh, man.
I think I said no to, do you need anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't need anything.
You should have said,
do you
want anything? Or do you want a banana split?
You want a banana split? The answer would have been yes.
Do you guys want any? Didn't I say anything?
We can just hit stop right now and go to Dairy Queen.
Is there a Dairy Queen close by?
There has to be. I'm sure somebody has banana split somewhere around here.
Mm.
So I think we'll be okay for now. Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a podcast? Have you been on this side of the microphone?
Yes.
Oh, I want to listen to that one.
Yeah, that was a couple episodes actually. It was a couple episodes ago. I was doing it was with Rick and Susan actually. They were the co-hosts and I was the guest.
Oh,
I flipped the script kind of thing. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
We were talking on the day the date that is the anniversary of the day that I turned myself in.
Really?
Yep. And so we were talking through that. So I have been on that side of the microphone.
And it was good.
She's been on that side as well.
I bet.
Yep.
I bet she was awesome.
Yes.
It helps when you're super chatty.
I genuinely believe that everybody has a story to tell. I think everybody is just interesting. And I get that the nerves are different to work through depending on a number of variables, I'm sure. But I genuinely believe that everybody has a story to tell. Mm-hmm. And so I would include you into everybody because that's how math works.
It does.
And I'm just curious if you're ready to tell any of that story or if...
So what do you want to know?
What do you want to tell?
How far back do you want to go?
So you mentioned the Enneagram a couple of times. Do you want to say did you say your type?
Type 2. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you mentioned a little bit about how you found the Enneagram. And so with EPP, I'm actually not sure how I even want to get into it myself because you're a first that as far as the podcast goes. We've never talked to anybody in your position, I'll say. And I'm debating on whether or not I say the position now or later. I get the hoppies.
That's a good sign.
I'm like Running Man. I do the Running Man.
Yeah.
You get the hoppies and I do the Running Man.
Yeah, I get a little bouncy. And so I'll just say that so we've talked to my mom, who's probably the closest we've had to a relative of somebody who's connected with EPP. Your husband has gone through the programming as well, right? Mm-hmm. On the inside.
Right.
And so that I think is one of the more fascinating angles and conversations I want to have with you is what it's like to go, because you're kind of going through it together, right? Mm-hmm. So your husband is on the inside serving time still.
Yes.
And has gone through our programming.
Yes.
And by the way, if I'm describing this in a way that's not as accurate as it could be, correct the hell out of me, please.
So far, so good.
Okay, cool. And then you're out here, out in the wild, as I say.
Yeah.
The free world, doing the work right alongside him. Tell me first of all, how the hell does that begin? Whose idea was that? How does that conversation sound like? And I kind of just want to be super nosy and say, what is that? How does that work?
So we try to do a lot of things together. So we read books together and we just share notes, our thoughts. And during COVID, it was kind of hard. I mean, he was on lockdown, no visits. And the calls were few and far between. And we had a lot of snail mail going back and forth. And from there, he was just like talking to one of the guys in there. He's like, babe, they're talking about Enneagram and what Enneagram type we are. And we're reading on it. And I think I'm a 7. I think you're a 2. I think we should go, learn about this, get this book. And I was like, okay. So I got the book.
What was the book?
Wisdom of the Enneagram.
Yes.
Russ Hudson and Don Riso.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I purchased the book. We started reading on it and I went online. I started taking the assessment. And I was living with my sister at the time. And I kept coming up as an 8. He was like, no, you're not an 8. You're a 2. And I was like, well, it says I'm an 8. And I kept doing different type of assessments. I would go to different websites. I kept coming up as an 8. And I'm like, wow, well, it's attached to a 2. I was like, it is. So I'm kind of a 2. And he's like, no, that you're a 2. I was like, well, I don't know. We kept doing the work and this and that. And it helped us. It helped us a lot because it was, when all we have is very few phone calls and they're 15 minutes long, it's kind of hard to bond over that or build a relationship with 15-minute calls. So we had to really use our imagination here, and because we really wanted to make it work. And from there, when I moved, he's like, do it again, do the assessment. And I said, okay, we did it. We did the assessment. And I was learning about the 8s, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm 100% an 8. And when I did the 2, I moved down to San Diego. Let me come back. I moved down to San Diego, got my own place. After we settled in, I did another assessment. And I was a 2. And I did different assessments. I maybe 5. I had to do an odd number. And that comes from an accounting. Sorry. I have to explain to you why I had to do an odd number. Anyways, I did it and it came back 2, a 2, and he's like, I knew it. And it was just the environment where him and I both came up with that. It was the environment that I was living in. It was a little hostile. And so I had to come up as an 8 to protect myself. So I thought that was pretty interesting to learn that off the bat. When I feel safe, I'm in my 2. Look at me wanting to cry for no damn freaking reason other than I'm a 2. But yeah, and we just started learning visits when we finally did get visits. We started, just learning, really going in there. EPP showed up again. He signed up for it. And he came out. He's like, baby, you can join out there. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'll do it. It's another way for us to connect. And he's like, really? You'll do it? And I was like, yep. So I signed up and then I got an email. And I picked a date a day that I was going to do it during the week. And yeah, it just went from there. And then I do connect and reconnect.
So you're pretty involved.
Pretty involved. I want to be more involved, but work really consumes.
Yeah, bills are a bummer.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I wish I had more time to be more involved. I do every now and then, like when I'm able to join, like on a Friday at 9, I'm in there and, with Riley. But yeah, it's really, really difficult.
When you say you took it, you meant 9 prisons, 1 key, right?
9 prisons, 1 key. Yeah.
And what year was that?
2021.
Okay. So that's a couple years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
But I let it slide a minute ago where you said cry for no damn reason. There's a reason. We don't have to go there right now. It's not simply just being a type 2, but maybe we'll get to that later.
Shoot.
How, or we can just go right there right now. When you mentioned COVID and the 15-minute phone calls and all that, how were y'all together? Were y'all married before COVID or was it after COVID?
After COVID.
After COVID, okay.
Yeah, after COVID.
And the 15-minute phone calls, for those, because there are people who haven't been incarcerated or haven't been involved with someone who's incarcerated who listen and don't really understand the logistics of communication. And the 15-minute phone calls, how exactly does that work? Do you have to wait and call back later and talk 15 minutes more? Like what is the setup with being able to speak with a loved one who's incarcerated?
Okay, well, it's different. So when he was in, can I name the yard? Okay, when he...
We'll just beep it out if you do. It's okay.
Okay, when
he was at Beep Correctional Facility.
No, he was at the correctional.
Also, we can say his name.
Yard.
Alex Beep is
Alex Beep, my husband. He was in Delta. Okay, so in Delta, you have to get on a list.
Okay.
And then you get like a time slot to call. But we worked around that. That was before COVID. We worked around that because he became a porter.
Okay.
And because he was a porter, he was able to kind of call me a little bit more. So we worked a way around that. And when he was...
A porter is... They bounce around a lot to clean the different rooms. Yeah. It's a little more wiggle room for the porters. Yeah.
Yes. And so then he got transferred in 2020. Can't remember the exact date or month, but it was 2020. He got transferred to Echo Yard. And from there, they get more freedom with the phones. There's no list involved.
Okay.
There is a line. And before then, the calls were pricey. I had to pay like $7. Do you want to know that?
Sure.
$7 something for like 15 minutes.
$7. So
like
roughly,
$7 and something change.
Basically 50 cents a minute, probably. Something like that.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know. But it totaled up to like $7 something. And he would call more often because people didn't really call people, or loved ones in there didn't call their family members out here.
Was there a limit to how many? So 15 minutes at a time, but was there a limit?
He can call back to back because the line wasn't as big. Then during COVID, it dropped down drastically from like $7 something to, oh no, I'm lying. It went from 7 something because I had a Texas number.
Yeah.
Then I jimmied my phone and I got like a 619 number. And I got an app. So he was calling me through the 619 number, and that dropped the price to like $3 because I had a local number. And so we were doing the $3, which is still kind of pricey when you're like calling back to back. And then after COVID, when COVID hit, it went down to like 34 cents for 15 minutes. So that's when everybody was like on there.
Yeah.
And then they were offering like 2 free calls. So then people really started using them. And then I think it was the beginning of this year or the beginning of last year. I don't remember. They went totally free, 100% free. So then the line started getting really long. I think it was last year, January of last year. And the line started getting ridiculous. So now it became even more difficult. That became an obstacle for him to call during COVID because the free call started kicking in and the lines were longer and just the people's personalities and really got in the way. So he had to navigate through that. And it was by the time he got to me, he was already agitated.
Yeah.
And
when you're saying people's personalities get in the way, like it sucks waiting in line to call home.
Right. And people were like, no, he's in line. Like he's cut, like, oh, he was before you. And he went to go get something. And it was just kind of like people cutting him line.
Yeah.
And then just really their personalities, they don't have patience and whatever. Everything just came into play. And so by the time he reached me, he was on that level and he would try to be, he was already agitating. He was trying to be loving, but you can sense something, especially me. A 2, I can sense it. And from there, it was really hard because you can tell it was like taking a toll. So because the lines were big and if we were having a discussion, he had to go back in line. And by the time the people, not only 15 minutes, like let's say there was 10 people in front of him, it's like 15 minutes each person. If they each got their call, go through. By the time he came back and then to go back on the topic like we were talking about. And it takes a toll.
Yeah, I bet.
Takes a toll on the relationship. But we both showed up. Man, I don't even know if I should be talking about this. We both showed up and it's not easy. It's not easy, but we both showed up constantly on either end because I'm like here, whatever it is, whether it's a good discussion or not so good, we're both here on this level and it's like, man, now I have to wait for him to come through. But then by the time he comes through, he went through all this to just get to me again. So it's kind of hard, It's kind of hard. And so we find ways to connect. We watch TV shows together, whatever is on a movie. If it's going to come on, like, babe, this is going to come on. I'll, watch it so we can share something, or we'll watch it together or, things like that. But we've found different ways to connect. And I'm grateful to have him and, be by my side and be able to like want to connect, because it's not easy. It's not easy to be in this type of relationship on either end.
Yeah.
So it's now that they have the tablets, it's been pretty awesome.
How do the tablets work? I don't think most folks know that they have tablets in prison these days.
Yeah. So the tablets, it kind of opens the door to have some type of a normal relationship where I can at least message him back.
Mm-hmm.
They used to
basically text back and forth, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Some message take longer to get approved than others, but for the most part, they all go through pretty quick. But it's kind of nice because I can like, hey, what are you doing? And when he logs on, he can see my messages, or I can at least say, hey, babe, when you have a chance, call me. Or daddy. I call him daddy. But I can do that. There's been times where I was in the hospital and he didn't know until he had to call, and find out that way.
Yeah.
And it's like not knowing for him. So yeah, it opens up that communication between both of us and I don't have to just wait. It's not just one-sided. That's huge.
So it's actually fascinating. You mentioned watching shows together or like doing things individually but together somehow, and then having something to talk about later. And I have to wonder, is the Enneagram in that category, or is it
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every Monday, he knows. Every Monday at 6:30 he calls me, and every Wednesday at 7 he calls me. And sometimes we're still in. I'm like, baby, I'm still here. He's like, okay, I'll call back. But he's always eager to find out, what's going on.
The times that you mentioned are just the connect and reconnecting, right?
Yeah.
So he calls you after those, and y'all talk through that.
He calls me right when they start, and then he calls me right when it ends. So he's just checking in.
That's
he's
cool.
Checking in. And yeah, we do that. We connect with that. We also practice yoga together and Tai Chi. So, and some jujitsu moves. Yeah. So we do that
Jiu-jitsu.
too. Yeah.
I didn't know this at first. I should be nice. Otherwise I'll be in. That was very matter of fact. That wasn't even like a joke. That was like confirmed. Affirmative. Check yourself.
Did I not tell you guys I'm hood? No,
Yeah.
just kidding. No.
This time. You did now. Okay. We're all on the same page.
He's so afraid of me. I can't even go like this, Laura. Like reach out to like touch him because he'll flinch. And I'm like, why are you flinching? You're constantly practicing with like these big men in there. And you're like, I'm little. I'm 4'11", 5 feet. I think I'm 5 feet. My doctor's like not accurate. I'm 5 feet. And, he's over here like afraid of me. Come on now. But I do. During visits, I practice we're very, very fortunate to be allowed to practice like my kickboxing moves. I'm able to practice there with him. I'm able to practice some of my martial arts moves with him there.
Yeah.
And we're able to practice yoga and Tai Chi. We do our Tai Chi. We've done Tai Chi in the rain during visit. It was priceless.
There's so much fascinating non-Enneagram stuff coming up right now because I think you're talking about a lot of stuff that people don't know about. I'm serious.
Having a relationship in there, a marriage.
But also people don't know because family visits aren't a thing in every state.
Oh, Texas doesn't have that, correct?
Right. Yeah, Texas doesn't have that. So when you say doing yoga in the rain, you mean literally you can part of the way that the visits work is you can go for, correct me if I'm wrong, but the weekend and stay in, is it like basically like a on-site like
apartment?
Yeah. And they have little yards, and so you actually go to prison. You go on the inside, and then that's the weekend. It's kind of a weekend getaway.
It's from Thursday through Saturday, and then Saturday through Monday. Yeah.
When you say it's either like Thursday through Saturday or Saturday through Monday, and how often are they?
Okay, so we've been fortunate. Sometimes we've had it be like 45 days off. Sometimes we've had it 60 days off, and sometimes we've had it 90 days off. Sometimes it's been 5 months.
Okay.
And it just depends. When it was 5 months, I think because there was COVID lockdown in between, so it affected our date. But there's been a lot of change with the COs there. And so this time around, our last visit was in I'm sorry.
We actually, Becky Beep actually makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. We have F-Bomb Dana and Becky Beep.
Oh my gosh.
People are laughing with us right now, I promise. In the future, people are laughing with us right now.
I can't remember our last date right now because I'm just everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it was in July, to be honest. So yeah, I think it was in July. And so our next visit's October.
Cool.
So it's quite a way.
And I'm going to say it this way. That's going to be your last visit.
It is. We talked about that. It's going to be our last visit.
And why is that?
Because Daddy's coming home. He's coming home. Yeah, very emotional. Very emotional. You should have seen me when I was interviewing attorneys for this to represent him during parole board. I was hard on them. I need somebody that's going to listen to him. He needs his voice to be heard. He's amazing. Like his light's going to shine. And he is. He is amazing. When you meet him, like his light just is so bright, and it's what I fell in love with, And before even meeting him in person. And it was, I mean, it was just amazing to meet a human being that way, that didn't allow his circumstances to dull his light. It made it shine brighter, And everything that man has been through, man, he's still shining. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
When did you find out he's coming home?
July 12th of 2023. We actually met. The first day we met was July 12th, 2019.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then when I was reading his parole board minutes.
Are those public, or is that just you have that because?
No, it's public to him.
Okay.
To him.
Gotcha.
He sent it to me. He was actually, I don't know if I can say this, but I'm going to share with you. You can take it out if you need to. He was put into the CDCR system July 12th of 2000. And then his parole date was July 12th, 2023. And then we first met July 12th, 2019. I was like, what in the world? He's like, why does that surprise you? Our whole relationship has been little confirmations like that.
Yeah.
He's like, why does it surprise you? I'm going to drink some water, people.
Cool. Water's good.
I like your pen, Clay.
Thank you. I stole that.
Did you?
No, I don't know. I don't know where I got it. I just thought that'd be funny. Turns out, not funny at all.
But the not funny makes it funny.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's my specialty.
It is.
I was just saying that the other day, where I say a thing and think it's going to be funny. It's not, but the recovery is good.
Yep.
Like I flail in the air, but I stick the landing.
Yes, you do stick the landing.
Yeah. Which is important.
It is.
I agree. Yeah, that's what the judges really care about. There's a court joke
I
in
feel
there
like
somewhere.
it's like, well.
So I want to know about the day. So I knew that his board was coming up. We knew that he was in a class a little bit before, a month or two before that, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been gone a long time.
Yeah.
And this was his first parole board hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And actually leaving the prison, Laura and I were chatting, and I was like, I don't remember exactly how I said it, Laura, but the basic, my basic thought was, after that long, people don't make it on their first. And so I was like pre-sad for the no.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew it, Clay. I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it. Like I knew it. I knew that his first time he was going to be out. He was going to be found suitable. I felt it. I knew it. And I kept telling him, just go in there humble. Please just go in there humble. And man, that's so beautiful. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I knew it. I felt it, Clay. I knew it. And it was so crazy. Our family visit was in July. It was a weekend before.
Okay.
Before his parole board. And so we were talking about that during family visit. It's like, how crazy that this Wednesday you're going, like you're literally going, and we're going to find out. And it was just so.
We'll cut that out.
Everything in my body just went.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's editable.
Okay.
Don't
Yeah,
even worry.
it's all good. No, we just blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
It's all-
Okay.
but
Beep.
at some point, are we allowed to know that? I actually don't know. This is why we
Wait,
have
so I
pros.
can't share?
Yeah.
No, we can do whatever we want to, and then if we need to cut, we can. So
It's so tricky because
I want to learn this because that's my goal in EPP.
Yeah.
I want to go in there, Clay.
Yeah.
I want to go in there because there's something like my husband and I do this together.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he goes in there and he's doing the class with you guys, he comes back and he shares, and I do the same with him. But I wish that there was something for couples or for family, like not even just couples, but even like sisters, like siblings or their parents. I wish there was something like that, because as much as it's helped us learn how to communicate because of our numbers, I think a lot of people could benefit from that. I honestly feel like Enneagram really helped with our marriage in such a positive way. So I want to know what are the do's and don'ts, because that's my goal, to go in there.
right.
Like everything I'm doing is to be in your position.
The good news is somebody has the answers to all that, and the what's and the hows and the whys and what we're allowed to do. I suck with rules. I have a long history of A, not caring about the rules, and B, not even knowing them in the first place. So, and when I do know
please
them,
tell me you know.
yeah, and when I do know them, sometimes they still don't matter. So that's the reason that this is a team effort, and I am just one person of many.
Yeah.
Because my judgment is rarely based on rules and stuff like that. So, hi, Robin. Love you. And Halita, actually. So you were saying at the family visit before, and then a few days after that, he went before board.
Yeah.
And-
So our family visit was from Saturday to Monday, and that Wednesday was his parole board hearing. So it was, every family visit, it's kind of that whole week we feel it. Like we feel that separation. It's very rushed. Family visits, very rushed. So it's what you think of a normal relationship, a normal marriage. It's like we're trying to absorb that in like 2 days, and like we're trying to just take everything in, like waking up together in each other's arms, brushing each other's teeth, cooking together, washing dishes, working out together, watching TV, whatever it is, we're trying to embrace it, but it's so freaking rushed. And so when we come back, we kind of like melt into it coming back, and it's kind of overwhelming, we kind of push people away, like, let me sit in this. And we couldn't do that week because it was his parole board. And it was just like, we went from this high and we really we're dropping down, and then we were back up, and then we found out, and it was like, we were happy. There were so many emotions. And then like the reality set in, it set in for him. And I won't share that. I'll wait for his podcast for him to share that. But yeah.
That'll happen too, hopefully.
Yeah, it will happen.
Yeah, a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
So you find out, I'm assuming, do the attorneys call you to let you know that day? And what was the conversation like with your attorneys?
He texted me. He called me the night before, really late. And he was like, I'm just want to know how you're doing. And I said, I'm good. He's like, I want to let you know how it's going to happen. He's like, as soon as I know, you're going to know. You're the first person I'm going to call. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to know before he even tells me. I thought he was going to be the first one to tell me.
Right. He being Alex. So the attorney's saying
Alex.
you're going to hear from me before you hear from Alex.
Yeah. I was going to hear it from
Mr. Beep.
Mr. Beep. From Mr. Beep from over there. So you'll hear from me before you hear from Alex. And I was like, really? Like, I was just like, shit. I didn't know how to feel about that, because I kind of wanted to hear from my husband first, And he texted me. They were in there, and he's like, baby, they're calling me. They're calling me in now. And he wasn't scheduled to go in until 10:30. And it was about 8-ish. And he's like, baby, they're calling me now. And I was like, what? Why? What's going on? Well, I guess there was something happened with the previous appointment at 8:30. And so his started like at 9 something.
Way sooner than he was expecting.
Yeah, than he anticipated. So
Oh, that's stressful. I'm stressed, even though it's already happened and I know the news. Like, that's unsettling.
Mm-hmm. But I was reading the paperwork he sent me. I haven't finished because I've been so busy. I just received it a few days ago, and man, just the way the conversation was going, it was like so free flowing. It was just so organic. I received a text from his attorney. He's like, he was found suitable. I was like, no fucking way. I had to leave work. And I was like, no way. And he's like, yes. He's like, no, I'm lying. He was like, Becky, they're about to deliberate. They're going to come in a little bit. And I'm like, okay. I grabbed my stuff and I'm like, I gotta go. I have an emergency. I left work. And
did your work know? Did they know like what the emergency probably was?
No, they didn't know.
Okay.
They didn't know. I get very defensive, and a lot of people don't understand, and they're
it's none of their business anyways.
But it's not, I just want to put it out there. It's not that I'm ashamed of him, because everybody that is in my circle, everybody that needs to know knows.
Right.
Like, I'm not ashamed of that. Like, fuck all y'all, whoever thinks that, something bad about my husband. And
for the record, fuck
for
all
the
y'all.
record.
Fuck them all.
I'm sorry. You know what? For a second, I forgot the microphone was in front of me.
See?
Oh my gosh.
You're a
But-
professional now.
Yeah, that's how that
no,
works.
look what happens when I'm a profestional.
Yeah, people
I
get to
say fuck all y'all.
Becky Boop comes out. Becky Beep. I said Boop. Oh my gosh.
Switched it
Becky
up.
Beep.
also works.
But
I'm
you
serious
know,
though. I support that.
so I just get very defensive. You know, I go into my A.
Okay.
When it comes to my husband and my kids, and so I was like, I gotta go. I have an emergency, and I left. And I was like driving. I'm like, where the fuck do I go? Because I won't make it home. So I go into like a Ralph's parking spot, and look at a hummingbird, guys. Do you see it? Oh, he went that way. Sorry, it's because I have a hummingbird here. That's his mom. We take that as that's his mom.
Okay.
So I drove into the Ralph's, and he calls me as I'm driving in, or he texts me. He's like, he was found suitable. And I was like, oh my God, no way. And I'm like in all caps. And he's like, his first try, Becky, he was found suitable. I was like, I never doubted it. Then he calls me. He's like, hold on, I'll call you in just a bit. And I was like, okay. And I'm looking for parking. And I finally park. And then he calls me and he's like, Becky, he's like, now I know why you're with him. Those were his first words. Now I know why you're with him. And I was like, why is that? He's like, he's an awesome guy. I said, he is an awesome man. And he just was telling me how everything went. And I'm going to share that. I'm going to leave that for him to share. But on my end, he told me what was going to happen. He said how many days it was going to be. I was going to hear back from him before that. Once he hears from certain people that, because it has to be checked off.
Yeah.
And once he hears from certain people, then I'll hear back from him and we'll know from then. Yeah.
So the process in California, as I understand it, is a person can be found suitable for parole, but the term they just use is found suitable. And then there's an amount of time where certain people in the process can try to undo that or try to make it not come true or whatever. And I don't know if it's appeals. I don't know who is it or anything like that. But it's 120 days.
That's correct.
Yeah.
120 days or 150 days.
Okay.
So either one, depending on the crime. And also, it depends on him.
Yeah.
So he definitely has to be on his best behavior in there, because any write-up in there,
Yeah. They'll revoke it.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
in a heartbeat.
And I have no concerns for him, frankly. I think he's good.
You know, it's the people around him. It's
Yeah.
the people around him, and that's why we decided not to share that news.
Mhm.
He shared it with a few people,
Mhm.
But not many. And it's only because of past experiences,
Yeah.
what we've been through.
I don't think we mentioned how long he's been in, because I think that's also something that, especially folks who don't have a relationship or a family member who's incarcerated, the amount of time really matters. Do you mind sharing how long he's been incarcerated?
Absolutely not. He went in when he was 18. He will be 43 this year. He's been in there for 25 years. Yeah. He grew up in the system. He grew up in the system, and he has not let that define him, you know? I remember when I met him, I don't know, I'm going to share this, but again, I remember when I met him, he felt like I have no say, like I'm in here, you know, when it came to things in our relationship. And I was like, whoa, that's not true. I don't see you as, you know, these brick walls. I don't see you as the cell that you're in. I don't see you that way. You're a human being and you matter. Your wants, your needs, your thoughts, your feelings, they matter. Like, if I'm asking you, it's because I respect your opinion or because I respect you as my partner. And he was, you can tell he was kind of thrown back by that. He was kind of taken back, like, what? You know? But like I told him, if when you're home and I do that same thing, you know, I carry myself that same way, are you going to appreciate that? He's like, no. I said, so then we have to pave the ground.
They have to build our foundation. And I'm very strong on that. I'm building a firm foundation. So when we do have issues, our foundation doesn't crack that as easily. So yeah, it's a lot. Being in this type of relationship is a lot, but it's just seeing that. I think my past experiences, kind of like, this is what I want for my relationship with him, a firm foundation. And yeah, he's pretty awesome. I mean, I don't know what I can mention, but I'm sure you guys know.
He's pretty awesome.
Vouch.
Yeah. We're all in agreement here. You're pretty awesome, Daddy.
I won't call him Daddy.
Me either.
I'll say that he's also pretty awesome. We're in August as we have this conversation, folks. We'll hear it at the beginning of October. I think this is the October episode. So by the time
His birthday edition.
Is his birthday in October as well?
Mm-hmm.
You really remember dates and how things are connected.
I have a thing for numbers, and I'm like numerology,
Mhm.
and maybe that's why I have like 19 years experience in accounting. Except I dropped it here in California for personal reasons. But yeah, I have a connection with numbers, spirituality in general. But yeah,
So by the time this comes out, he'll be about roughly a month more, and then he should be home.
Yes.
What are some of the plans that y'all do? Places you want to take him or things you want to do? I know some of the answers to this because when we chatted last week,
people don't know. They may be curious, so
Yeah.
I get it.
what kind of plans do you have?
I haven't done much of going through. I've been in San Diego since 2020, October 2020, and I haven't really explored San Diego. I'm waiting for a lot of those first, to enjoy a lot of those first with him. So yeah, we're excited for that. We want to learn different types of dancing. That's really something we want to do.
I bet he could dance.
Mhm.
Something tells me he could probably dance.
Yeah, he can dance. I've showed him the two-step. I've showed him
That's a Texas
the four,
dance.
Yeah, four corners. So a line dance. I've showed him some cumbia, some, a little bit of different things. But during family visit, we dance. And I'm like, come on, get out of your comfort zone, dance, because I'm a dancer. I love to dance. And but yeah, that's our goal: to learn bachata, salsa, tango, different things. And I'm eager to date my husband. Yeah, I'm eager to date him. We have our little dates on the weekends when I go visit him, but it's just to be out here and just savor out here, go to the beach. I want to go to the beach with him.
It's such a simple sentence to say, I want to date my husband. And I think there's so many people who probably heard that and maybe realize how much they take for granted, just like something simple as going on a date or going to the beach, like you said.
I don't get to when you argue with your spouse or your partner.
I'm perfect. I've never done that.
Of course not.
Yeah.
I would never. I was speaking to everyone else in this microphone.
Okay.
Hello, Clay. Hello.
I interrupted. Sorry. I'm divorced, by the way. That's funny.
I've been there, Clay. I've been there. This is not my first marriage.
Yeah.
But, shit. When you make up with your partner, when you have your little fights and you want to make up. We don't get to do that like normal couples, I don't get to. It's just certain things that a lot of people, I think take for granted. I just want to savor all of that. I want to savor all of that with him. I can't wait to start life with him. I think I told him and he felt bad. I told him, I said, I can't wait to start living life again. And he's like, Mama, I'm like, I stopped living life. I could not do it. Not because he asked me to. I want to clarify that. But it's just who I am as a person. How can I be out there like partying it up or taking vacations or, really enjoying life 100% when my husband is in there? Me, myself, like my conscience would not allow that. I would feel guilty. I know myself too well.
And so I'm really like, I work my butt off, just to provide for us. And I'm really holding on to that. I'm like, come on. I want that day to come.
Yeah. It's close.
Yeah.
90 days will pass.
I think the first thing we're going to do is go to the beach.
Yeah.
I think that's the first thing we're going to do. There's this going to Del Mar. You've probably seen it. Going to Del Mar, it kind of goes like uphill. When you hit the top, right? The top of the street or the road, especially like around 5 o'clock, the sun is just shining on that water. I cannot, like every single time I've gone there or I've been there, because I used to work part-time job there, and I freaking cry every time. It's this emotion that just hits me right in the middle of my chest. It's so beautiful. It's consuming. Yeah, it's consuming. It's like, wow, how can this exist? Just the sun hitting the water right at the top of that. When you're on top of that road, I want him to experience that. Just to see that, it's priceless. Yeah. I'm going to cry again.
It's okay. It's allowed here. You're lucky.
I have permission.
You don't need permission, but yeah, it's there. This is what an hour feels like, by the way. I'm just telling you, this is what an hour feels like. 50.
I wonder how much is going to be edited out.
More than 0.
Oh.
We're not done, unless you're done.
No, I'm not done.
Because there's a lot more that I want to know. Since it is the
done.
EPP podcast, we should talk Enneagram at some point.
We want to be more involved with EPP.
Well, I want to know what it is, because you said you do the Connect on Mondays, you do Reconnect on Wednesdays, and are you pouring water over here? Okay, Laura's struggling with drinking.
Are you okay, Laura?
Yes.
I just started playing dodgeball with the ice. So,
You still have ice. Mine's all melted.
yeah. Do you want to go get more ice?
No.
Okay, we got time. It's fine. You go to the Connect on Mondays. You go to Reconnecting on Wednesdays. What do you get from that? Why do you do that?
It fills my cup. I was telling him on Wednesday, I needed it. I really needed it. I had a tough week. And Monday, man, I didn't want to do it at all for personal reasons. But just the discussion itself, the discomfort topic about it, I needed it. And it helps me. It grounds me. And it honestly fills my cup with love. Yeah. And I am used to giving it. So that's a way of me giving it back to myself, is attending Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Anything?
Yeah. I'm wondering, your partner is also a type 7 like me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious, like, I know you said we want to give back, we want to do this. Like, I just want to dream for a minute. Like, what would it look like? What do the two of you want to do? Like, what would your...
I remember Susan saying, I can see you guys holding hand in hand doing this. And we really want to work with couples. It's something that we really want to do. And I hope EPP can open that door, can like really build that bridge, the two, connect the two. Because I know he's doing the work in there and I'm doing it out here. And then we combine it together by sharing it. But something more in depth, having to do with like, I don't know if homework is the right word, more activities, but something for the family members out here to build that bridge with them in there. Don't get me wrong. I understand how important it is for them to learn about themselves and their number. But I think also to hold that space, to connect, because connection for them in there is so important. They don't get it enough, So when somebody goes in there, it's kind of like they're overwhelmed, So yes, it's important for themselves, for them to grow, but also to have the connection and learn to have a connection out here with the people out here. I think that's very helpful. I think that's very vital, and we need it. We need it. There's really not a program that really provides that, and it's something that him and I envision. To go in there and teach. Not only like we would love to teach EPP, like go in there together as a couple, but also like we see ourselves like teaching. Tai Chi. Tai Chi has helped me a lot with and Qigong has helped me a lot with lupus. And he's helped me with that, So he really holds my hand when it comes to that. And I think to be able to teach other people that would be pretty awesome, Not only that, but like again, EPP, Enneagram has really helped us. I'm gonna tell you guys that really it helped us a lot in our marriage. I think we wouldn't have made it. I'm gonna put it out there, we wouldn't have made it without Enneagram. It really taught us it's that important. I tell every couple that I meet, do Enneagram, do the Enneagram, like do it together, find it a way to connect with each other, because it's like feeding the relationship soul, I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Very
Yeah. I think there's make a curriculum. Just do it. Like shit. What?
Yeah.
He threw his hands up in the air. He's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
shit.
what? I mean, we could. It's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm glad you guys think so, because
Oh
this
my
is like
gosh.
something that Kim and I like.
do
really
you doubt
share.
that it's
We're
a good
like,
idea?
No, I just like because it's just him and a conversation him and I have had,
Yeah.
and to put it out there, like like I talked to Susan and she's like, man, I can't wait to see
Yeah.
you guys. Like she's like, I literally see you guys holding hand in hand,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, wow, soon,
Yeah. And I'll say, by the way, that yes, for couples and also just for extended family in general. Like I'll keep this super basic, vague, because I don't want to say anybody's name, but we got a call today. Somebody called and left a voicemail with the EPP phone number. And they were saying, I'm so-and-so. I'm the mother of this participant who's in your class. And she went on to talk about, this was somebody's mom and her son's in our class this week. And she was just singing the praises of noticeable transformation, I think is probably.
I think she said, and I'm not exaggerating, I haven't seen this part of him in many, many, many years.
Yeah. I'm
And-
telling you, when I tell you that if it wasn't for Enneagram, like I don't think we would have made it. Like
Yeah.
it's really helped us. It helped. It's a big part of our foundation.
Yeah.
And I talked about how important building our firm foundation is for my marriage, for our relationship. EPP is or Enneagram is a big part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's I wish more people were like knew about it. And like I said, I mean, I tell everybody, I tell my nieces, I tell my friends, I tell other couples that are in there, siblings. Like I tell everybody, like, learn your type, learn yourself, so you know how to show up for somebody else, And
What is it that we're doing that we can keep doing that's working so well? And I'm not asking you to sell EPP to anybody or anything like that, but what is it? What's the identifiable parts of what we do that works?
I always feel like when I come to EPP, I always feel safe to be myself. And I think that's so important. In a world where you're constantly judged by people that love you and by strangers, EPP is like they accept you with open arms. I feel safe to talk. I feel safe to express myself. And it's hard. It's hard to find something like that, to find like a connection like that. And that's why it fills my cup. It fills my cup every Monday and every Wednesday. When I can't attend, it's hard on me. It's hard on me. With this new schedule that I have, I sometimes I come in late on Mondays, and it sucks because I miss like a big portion of it, but I still try to make it. And it's for me. It's for me. And you guys are doing an amazing job, seriously. Every single one of you guys. I'm really blessed to like have met you guys in person, and the people that I met through Zoom, through Connect and Reconnect. And y'all are really amazing.
I think what we've done virtually with Zoom and stuff, thanks to the pandemic in the last few years, is really taken it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's given us, because we've been around for 11 plus years now. And I can safely say from day one, we've always cared. And I think what we haven't always done is found a way to connect with everyone in a way that's what you're describing. I think 7-8 years ago, this probably wasn't an option. There were like in-person things that could happen, but like Zoom and the Connect and reconnecting and things like this.
How did you guys do it before?
In person.
Seriously?
Before-
you guys
before
would travel
COVID.
a lot?
Well,
It was
no,
just the Bay Area, really.
Just if you were in an area where it was possible. So in the Bay Area, Wednesday nights, we would all meet in one spot, small group of us. But it was so limited because it was only folks that were in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then, the pandemic happening actually forced us to, like, all that. I was
Think
not a
outside
part of
the
any of that
box.
because I'm in Dallas. So for me, I never went to reconnecting when it was in a building because I'm 2,000 miles away or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, it's, as much as the pandemic sucked, there was some benefits. And one of those was that we were forced to go to Zoom and start doing everything on Zoom. And if you were in the class and in the in-person reconnecting, to go to Zoom was probably a bummer. But for somebody like me, like I can do stuff because
So why don't I see you guys reconnect or connect?
I don't know. Actually, I need to formulate an excuse while Laura gives hers. That's the funny answer. The true answer is hard. There's so much to do. There's so many meetings. I have come to. I was there when you gave
Yes,
the
I
good
know
news
you
that
were
night.
there.
There's
I
no
was
way.
all like, where are you? Because I was like, is it going to be beeped out? I was all like,
we were messaging on Slack and
on
about
Slack, and I was like, I wish I could meet you. I wish you can be here, reconnect. And then I get a message back on Slack. I am there.
I was literally there
And I was like,
yeah.
Where? That was the biggest class I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been that big. There was like 21, 20, maybe 23 people in there. It was pretty big.
It was
Or was it 28?
mid-20s. It was mid-20s.
Yeah.
Maybe more. It was a lot.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
28. It was the biggest class I've seen. And I was like, man, this day I'm going to share it. I'm going to cry. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And when he told me I'm in there, I'm like, oh my God, where are you? And he had his hat on.
Yeah, I had my hat on. I was on the screen though. I was there.
Yeah. And I was like, I found you. You're wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But for
But
me,
I
the answer
thanked
is
him. I praised him and I praised you for everything.
Yeah, that's good. That was big news. You finding out your husband's suitable.
That's huge.
You guys have no idea how much you guys mean to me. Just because you guys mean a lot to him. And it's like, I told Clay, you guys are family now. To be able to go in there and give them like hope and give them a reason to smile is so fucking amazing. And to see, like, I saw what you guys brought and what you guys did. And I want to really thank you guys for that. You guys really do an amazing job because you guys are able to, give those people something to smile about, something to look forward to, and know that inside of them, there's something good inside of us, and you guys do that. Like, do you know how important that is? I saw it in my husband. So thank you guys for that. Seriously.
Thank you.
I really wanted to meet you guys, and when I connected with you because of camping, I was like, it's just different, It was just for different. It's just different, and yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys. You guys are you're my family.
I will accept that.
Yeah, me too. I feel that for sure, and yeah, I'm so glad. And this is kind of, I don't know what it's gonna look like, what you and Alex want to create and bring into the world, but I know it's needed. And I just being in this space, and like Clay started and said, this is a first for us. We haven't had somebody who has a spouse currently incarcerated, currently taking programs, with EPP. And it's like, it's hard for me to just stay in this moment and celebrate it because my brain is exploding with the possibilities, and my brain is, oh my gosh, what if every person that's in one of our classes had somebody on the outside studying next to them? What could happen? Like, just this is thrilling. And my hope for what is possible for Alex is so massive because he has support and he has someone standing alongside him doing their own work. Like, it's not common, and I want it to be common. I want it to be the norm.
Mm-hmm. And I want that too. Like, I really want, that's why I'm always advocating for it, for like EPP, you know? And it's like, learn your type. Like, you can do this class too. You can do this class. You know, I have people that call me during class. I'm like, I'm in class right now. I can't be bothered, you know, but I'm always there for people.
I love that phrase. I can't be bothered.
Exactly. Not right now. Not when I'm with EPP. And I'm always there for people, no matter what it is I'm doing. I make time for people, but not when I'm in APP. It's crazy, and I caught that. I give that to me. I give that to myself. Yeah, and it's so beautiful. Like, seriously, it's so beautiful.
There's Stella. Hi, Stella.
Hi, Stella. I want to meet you.
You haven't met Stella yet?
I think I've seen her in Zoom.
Yeah, she does reconnecting quite a bit
How's
too.
my makeup? Because I know that I've been crying.
Well, that's really the most important thing right now.
On a podcast. Everybody's gonna know.
I'm talking about you guys.
There are probably people who stop listening because your makeup is
Yeah,
running.
I don't want to say anything, but
Yeah.
about 15 minutes ago, they probably left.
Oh my goodness.
What would you say to someone, whether they're, you know, the loved one, a mom, a dad, a brother, sister, a husband, a wife, whatever, and their loved one is doing time, and you could speak to them, what would you say to that person? Any thoughts coming up hearing that question? How best to support their loved one on the inside?
By doing EPP, by learning. EPP teaches us about ourselves, you know, like our number and how, like, the positives and the negatives, you know, when we're healthy and on our healthiest version and not so healthy. And I think that's why it's important, you know, to be able to recognize that. And I think it'll help so much building that connection that a lot of relationships can be maybe healed if we just do the work and own up to it. A lot of it has to do with just that work that we have to do, looking in the mirror and looking at that ugly part of us. And I do think EPP helps with that. I do think it does, because it really guides us. Like, where are we on our, like, an unhealthy version of us, you know? What does that look like? I'm being unhealthy right now. I need to adjust that. You know, I can recognize when I'm like into an 8, you know? And I didn't know I had a strong wing until Lance brought it up. You know, a strong 3 wing until Lance brought it up. And so I'm doing more homework on that. I'm trying to educate myself on that. But I think with families, if we were to do that, sisters, parents, brothers, nieces, nephews, uncles, aunts, wives, girlfriends, fiancés, I think it would help. I honestly think it would help because you're bonding with them. You're learning them, and then you're learning yourself. Did that answer your question?
Only exactly perfectly. Anything coming up for you? Questions or thoughts or anything at the moment? It's okay if no, but also good if yes.
I don't think so at the moment. Yeah.
Cool. Well, first of all, how was it? We're at the tail end of the podcast. I know that you had some nerves early on.
Mm-hmm.
How was it? What was your experience like?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. You both helped a lot with that. You both helped a lot. I think just laughing grounded me. It helped ground me.
In a couple months, I want to do a part 2 of this with Alex.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
And hopefully that'll happen. He'll say yes. I just don't want to say yes for him, but he'll say yes. I think.
Yeah. When I talked to him about this,
yeah,
yeah, he's all for it.
So for it.
So, as is tradition on the podcast, we give the guest the last word. There's no question, there's no prompt, there's no nothing, just anything that you want to say. There is no time limit. Before that, I'll offer it to Laura to see if she has anything she'd like to sneak in here real quick.
I think the only thing I want to say is just thank you for coming. Thank you for, and I don't even mean today. Like, yes, it's very cool that you came and we're willing to talk to Clay, do the podcast, but thank you for showing up for yourself more than anything. I'm so glad you showed up for Alex, but I'm way more glad that you're showing up for yourself and learning to know yourself in different ways.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel your love, and I'm so glad to be part of your family.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll echo that. Just thanks for saying yes. It's a big deal. It's a big yes.
A big yes.
So thank you. So with that, I'm done. No more questions. Anything you'd like to say? Any final thoughts? Whatever you'd like to say, the floor is yours.
Honestly, I just want to say thank you to the EPP family. I think I've said it throughout the podcast. Just everything that you guys do. It's so important, and I'm glad that this community is here. It's existing and it's thriving. Because people like my husband and myself, we needed this. You know, we really needed this, and so we're glad. I'm glad that you guys exist. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you both. You made this awesome for me, this experience. I'm glad that you guys are both part of it. Thank you.
EPP is on a mission to understand why we do what we do, using the Enneagram to inspire transformation on both sides of the bars through self-awareness, self-regulation, and self-compassion. For more information about EPP, please visit EnneagramPrisonProject.org. We appreciate your time and attention today. Please stay tuned for future episodes of the podcast, which you can expect right here on the first Tuesday of every month as we continue to tell the story of the Enneagram Prison Project.